check this out. You want to talk about ethics? I'm going to respond to what Boogie Cousins said and then what Charles Barkley said. Let's start with Boogie Cousins. He says it's BS, the college system. He's right. He's right. There's no amateurism. They're selling amateurism back to the consumer, but it's just the veneer of amateurism.
We agree.
That's why they have to be so careful about the students not profiting. The only amateurs are the players. Is the college engaged in amateurism? Really? They're not making a profit? Are the broadcast networks engaged in amateurism? Are you or I engaged in it? Is the consumer even? They're paying money.
We know.
Tons, millions and millions and millions of dollars are exchanging hands, and the only people who are not really participating in that are the people providing the product itself. It's nonsense. That's what. So talk about in terms of that ethical framework. Do I then feel, strictly ethically speaking, you're right. Once you enter into an agreement, then strictly ethically speaking, you're right. What I am suggesting is unethical. However, I would argue here that morality is circumstance, not spot. And when you walk into a situation where the ethics are as twisted, the ethical code is as twisted as it is in NCAA sports, then I don't have a problem with a student being unethical in that case, saying, you know what, you've gotten it at, look, that was $10,000 a seat, right? The highest rated game ever broadcast by ESPN. Is that just a rivalry, or is that also Zion Williamson, who is risking his health and, in fact, had an knee sprain and is not able to truly participate in the proceeds? So when you can say amateurism all you want, ethics all you want, once you point the camera at these kids and you start charging airtime for it and everyone else is profiting, you and I are profiting from it right now, but the athletes aren't, then I don't feel so bad about saying I would walk away.
First of all, I'm coming at you to answer my question about you, okay? Don't talk to me about college basketball as if I'm off that wagon. I know exactly how hypocritical they've been. I know exactly how unethical they've been. I've talked about this for 20 years. Don't get me started with that. So let's not go there. I'm talking about you, Max Kellerman, when you sat up there on national television yesterday and spelled out the word peace, P-E-A-C-E. In other words, you were saying R.J. Barrett, kick rocks. Cam Reddish, kick rocks. Trey Jones, kick rocks. Coach Mike Krzyzewski, kick rocks. I know I agreed to be with you and go for this national championship, but y'all could go someplace because guess what? I'm going to save myself for the NBA draft. In the middle of the season, you said that was okay.
Because it's a business. Just because they're putatively amateurs, it's nonsense. It's a business. You know, it's funny. I was on a show, Sports Nation. I was doing a very successful afternoon drive show with my brother, Marcellus Wiley, and we had aspirations to do a national show and everything. And then First Take came knocking and made me a really good offer. And you know what I told Marcellus? I'm out. And you know what Marcellus told me? You better go get that. I mean, what do you think he didn't? What do you think R.J. Barrett's going to tell Zion Williamson? Don't go get your money.
Let me answer that. So, Max Kellerman, did you walk out in the middle of the damn show?
I would have if that's what I had to do. That's what I would have done. And you know what Marcellus would have done? He'd have held it down and been happy for me.
Marcellus might be your brother, but that's my boy. I love Marcellus. That's my man. Miss him, proud of what he's doing. Let's be clear. You understand what I'm saying? He ain't got nothing but love for Marcellus here. What I said to you was this. You ain't quit in the middle of the damn show.
I would have if that's what I had to do.
Excuse me. You had to wait, and there was a transition. You wasn't here the next day.
You're not listening,
in the middle of the damn season.
You're not hearing what I'm saying. I'm saying I would have. And by the way, if the shoe were on the other foot, he would have, and I would have told him, go get what you got to get, brother. Look, I want to respond to Charles Barkley, too. Charles Barkley, I think, made a very, sometimes the unethical thing to do is nevertheless the smart thing or even the right thing to do. Morals and ethics, there's an overlap, but they're not exactly the same thing.
Not in this case.
I want to talk about what Charles Barkley said. I think he said a valuable thing because in this case, he may be responding to me. Everyone's making it about just the money. It's not about the money. I don't like it when people even treat college, who aren't athletes, like vocational school. I know, again, there's a good correlation with the college education and the money you make, and money's an important thing, but it's not the only thing. I think it's important for kids to go to college just to get a good liberal arts education, be socialized in that way, become more fully formed adult human beings. I'm sorry you're unimpressed with this argument, but I think it's important.
I am.
So
but go ahead.
I like what Charles Barkley had to say. That's important. And there is value in a kid having a college athletic experience. That's something he'll never be able to recreate, and I'm not telling Zion what to do. I'm just saying, if I'm Zion Williamson and I'm risking a $100 million shoe contract before you even talk about what I'm going to get paid in the pros, and my knee goes out because the equipment explodes, and I got to put that same equipment on the next day, as Jalen Rose pointed out yesterday, because the school has a contract with a sneaker company, and I don't get paid off that, I'm out.
Hold it. You brought up Jalen Rose. You know, my friend, your friend, and obviously
Molly knows him
a
too.
lot more to Molly. Here's the deal,
You ever met
okay?
You're
I sat
so
up there
stupid.
and I interviewed Jalen Rose yesterday, and I would encourage everybody to go get that link. Jalen Rose gave an education yesterday. It was a sensational commentary on his part, and he deserves major props for it. Jalen Rose, I asked him that exact question, Max. Considering the situation, if you were Zion, if it were you, Jalen Rose, and it was the middle of the season, he wouldn't even let me finish the question. He said, hell no, I'm not walking out on my teammates like that. I signed up. And the bottom line is to finish the deal. You don't quit in the middle of the season.
But let's remember,
can't do
Zion,
that.
like Jalen, both have insurance policies. So if an injury causes Zion
You
to
should
slip
be
past the
ashamed of
For how
scene,
much, Molly?
he'll get $8 million.
Oh, $8
Molly,
million.
you should,
So he'll
Max
get
should be
he'll
ashamed.
get most.
You should be ashamed of
Hold on.
yourself.
He has an $8 million
Ashamed.
insurance policy if his knee goes out. So in other words, he'll get most of the money he would have gotten for the first year of his sneaker deal.
No, don't explain anything
For
to
the
me
first
like you
year
know
of his
something the
sneaker
rest of
deal.
us don't.
I'm
You
not-
are
hey, Charles,
unethical.
This was
You
the
are
most
not. You are
watched
not a
weeknight
champion,
I just
Max.
wanna say
You are
something.
not a
Basketball game
champion.
on
This is not a
ESPN.
champion,
I just want
Max.
to say something. Chuck, I hear you. It's not all about the money. But damn, I'll tell you what. $100 million on the line? I'm
They
out.
don't show up at
I'm
the
out.
beginning of the season, Max.
Why?
Wait
Why?
until
Why
be an
should
NBA
the
draft
athlete
pick.
use
The
the
game
system the
ended,
way the
not the
system
fan
uses
base.
the
season.
athlete?
Stop it.
Why?